What's going on, guys? Welcome to my first TCG deck profile. um, I really got excited because, I've been preparing for Blue Eyes for the past, I would say, past 4 or 5 months now. And, while it's been fun playing with a different deck, Branded is always something that I, will always carry in my heart. Now in this format now, especially with Blue Eyes, Maliss, Ryzeal, Fiendsmith may be getting hit on the ban list soon. Branded is going to be a really great rogue deck, and especially against Blue Eyes, guys. When Branded plays against Blue Eyes, I can't tell you like how much gas I had playing against Blue Eyes. And so we're just gonna go straight into the deck profile, and what we're gonna do is it's your typical setup that you've seen before. We have 3 Fallen Albaz, 3 Aluber. We have 2 Blazing Cartesia, and then 2 Guiding Quim. For me personally, these ratios are perfect. I like how they all complement one another. Obviously, if you play Branded before, it's just trying to find out ratios. By the way, I'm playing a 60 card build. While I was an advocate for 50 for a while, I've been playing 60 card build on Master Duel for a while, and those who've seen me on stream have seen it pretty well. That I've gone on a 10 streak before. I've gone on more of a positive streak with this build, and so this actually gives you a lot more gas. And so I'll kind of give recommendations on what to do after this. But this is the ratio that I do. So next, we're gonna go ahead and go. And this is, guys, you have to. 3 Albion the Shrouded Dragon, and then for 1 Mercurier, and then 1 Springen's Kit. Also for the Bestial package, we're gonna run 1 Bestial Abelion. We're gonna run 3 Saronir, 1 Jerusalem, and then 1 Bestial Magnamut. This, especially, I feel like with this ratio here, with a lot of light and dark going on with the Blue Eyes and Ryzeal, this is going to be very important. Okay. And this is very important for the Albion, the Shrouded Dragon, and Bestial Saronir with Branded High Spirits. If you open a Branded High Spirits with Bestial Saronir, you're automatically going to get Branded Fusion. You pitch Branded High Spirits, obviously. You grab the Albion after resolution. Use Albion's effect. With Bestial Saronir, you can send Retribution or Branded Fusion to the grave. And then with Albion, it's cost, guys. Remember, it is cost. Okay? To do the effect, it's cost. So you send Branded Fusion or Retribution, and you're able to just recur Branded Fusion from the graveyard. Remember that. Okay? It is cost. So if you get ashed, the Branded spell and trap has to dump first. Remember that. And then lastly, we are going to be playing the Dogmatic. We are going to play the Nithir Servant package. What I need to emphasize on this is that this needs to be the last thing you do once you run out of gas. If you get hand trapped and anything of that nature, this needs to be the last resort that you guys need to do. This and Endear Servant. I'll go into more further detail on that. Okay. So this is pretty much your standard core here for your Branded deck. Now for the spells and traps, okay, obviously we're gonna go into 1 Branded Fusion, and this is your Branded spell and trap cards. Obviously we need to run 3 Branded openings, guys. Branded opening with Blue Eyes and Ryzeal is insane. Remember, if this is in the grave, okay? If this is in the grave, and you have your fusion monsters, and Blue Eyes decides to do the Majesty, the Majesty is of, I believe it's called Majesty of Eyes of Blue. I forgot, but it's a trap card. This will you banish this from your grave. Remember, it protects you. So it's important to make sure that you can try to dump one of these branded openings in your grave. We have 3 branded and high spirits. Again, this is in tandem with Sarenir and the Shrouded Dragon, with Albion the Shrouded Dragon. 1 branded in red. 1 branded opening. And then we got the Nadir. Then also we have the Nadir package. Okay. This, like I said, this is very important. The Nadir servants, you want to activate that last. Okay. Whenever you activate Nadir servant, that needs to be the last thing you need to do. If everything gets busted by your hand traps, so you get Imperm, you get Ashed, you get Veilered, Nadir servant needs to be the last thing you need to do after everything has been said and done. Okay. Because once you activate Nadir servant, you can activate pretty much all. You can special summon from the extra deck as much as you like. And then when Nadir servant hits, once you activate Nadir servant, you're locked out of your extra deck. So that's very important. So good to know. Make sure that I recommend y'all try that. It's gonna, I promise you, it's gonna help you gas through a lot of stuff. And then also we got our core things that every branded player is gonna need. We've got 3 fusion deployments. Okay, very important. And then we have our others. We have 3 triple tactics talent. Our board breakers, super polymerizations, 3 of them. And then Book of Eclipse. I can't tell you guys how important this is to protect you from getting Imperm and Veilered. It has protected me so much from getting Impered and Veilered. Like, I would say a lot of Blue-Eyes players, I mean, they can Ash this, but it's either they choose, you know, they're going to have a lot of things to choose. I mean, if they're very familiar with Branded, they're going to Ash the fusion, Branded fusion. But, you know, if you're going second and you put Book of Eclipse on them, they're going to have no choice but to use Ash or Domino's Impulse. But it's pretty insane. But, and obviously we're going to go 1 Foolish Burial and then 1 Call by the Grave. Foolish Burial is great. It helps you get, you know, it helps you dump a Sarenir or your Albion the Shrouded Dragon very quickly. You know, you can by dumping Sarenir or Shrouded Dragon, you pretty much can dump any branded spell or trap. And it pretty much will help you get that protection effect with, you know, obviously the recursion effect, or branded retribution, or protection effect from branded opening, or, you know, just depending on which one you're choosing. But that is our spells here. So far we haven't hit 60 yet. You know, this is going to be important. It's for the competitive side of it. Okay. Then we have the traps, guys. 1 retribution, 1 fusion duplication. Last but not least, branded banishment. Branded banishment is going to be very important. And I'll show you why what I'm going to use for my extra deck. Okay. So this is what you have here. Now, to make this 60 card build, okay, right now we have 51 cards. Okay. We have 51 cards. I just use some hand traps. Now, this is totally up to you, but I use Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, and I will be having my Mulcharmy Fualis coming in pretty soon. I just sold some cards, and I just got to pick them up at my locals. What sucks is that to stay competitive, this is going to be Fualos right here. It's going to show up on the screen. Now, people, y'all need to understand, when you have Fualos in your hand, it's going to make Rimbrum. Fualos is a winged beast. So, the fact that you have a card, if you don't, I mean, it's not going to be just a dead card. It's going to help you make Rimbrum. And, you know, Rimbrum's going to be great, especially in this format. But just to give you a heads up, you know, this will help us, you know, keep the recursion. It's our maxi. It's going to be great. Ash Blossom, if you don't want to use Ash Blossom and you want to make sure your graveyards protect, you can just substitute this with Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion. But for this 60 card build, these are the only pretty much 2 hand traps I really play. Sets of hand traps and the Fuwalos. Now, for the extra deck, we're going to play 2 Mirror Jade, 2 Albion, the Branded Dragons, 1 Lubellion, the Siren Dragon, Titanic Lad. It's pretty much your standard branded core, and Rimbrum. These are the standard, 7 that I play. Rimbrum's, obviously we know what Mirror Jade is. Xyz, Link, Synchro, Fusion, make Mirror Jade using Fallen Alabast, Super Poly. And I learned this from, I believe his name was Belices, the branded player that got top 32. He played with 2 Grand Guignol. Now, I see why he played with 2 Grand Guignol, and it makes a lot of sense because if you have Branded High Spirits, you could just dump the extra Grand Guignol in the grave, and so you have an active, trigger effect if someone uses a monster effect to special summon a monster or itself to cheat out, pretty much to summon out a Despia monster from the extra deck, guys. And what I've been playing is Despian Cortis, and obviously what we saw inside if you watch the branded YCS player, Despian Proskinian was very viable. The fact that you're able to banish pretty much an extra deck monster. This is great, and I did this with Blue-Eyes. I was able to attack into his monsters, and then you're able to deduct the life points after the battle calculation, which is great, And you have the option to pretty much you either have the option to banish the monster, or you can special summon it back to your field. And this is a great format because we have a lot of light monsters and we have a lot of dark monsters, and so this is a great time in playing Proskinian. Lastly, I've been experimenting with Lulu Willith, and it has been pretty good. You have a lot of monsters that's leaving the extra deck, and the fact that you can it increases your attack, and when a monster leaves the extra deck, you can attack, negate a face-up monster on the field. Bruh, you cannot get any better than that. So that's the other package here. And then lastly, the last 3 cards that I'm playing here, I am playing because there's a lot of Blue-Eyes out there, Lightness, Darkness, Dragon Lord, Chaos, Star Source Dragon, and then my Garura to activate my Dogmatica. So unfortunately, this is kind of mandatory. It helps you draw. This is great for Fallen Alabast. So on the next turn, and it'll help you pretty much get that recursion that you need. Draw plus, it's, just draw a card for that. And then lastly, for the extra deck, guys, and this extra deck will depend on your local, on your locals. Now, because of the format that we're in, Joe and Lockbird is great against Blue-Eyes. It's great against Rescue Ace. It's great against, sort of on Fire King a little bit. But Joel Lockbird is great. Dimension Fusion for the 3-dimension fusion for, obviously, for Ryzeal. And then we're playing Artifact Lancia with the Artifact Sanctum. Guys, if you can't get a hold of an Artifact Sanctum, I literally got this out of my, I always buy every structure deck. And apparently this was part of the Trap Trick structure deck. So if you forgot where this is at, Trap Tricks structure deck. It's great. Now we have, the rest of it will be you know, depending on what you want to play. So we have 3, 6, 9, 10. We have 5 more cards. Abolitionists for the Blue Eyes. Y'all, the fact that Abolitionists, and I'll put it on the screen, the fact that Abolitionists can fuse into every dragon on the field is completely busted. Starring Venom Fusion Dragon. I personally like this, and the reason being is that when you're going against Maliss, it's a great super poly target. It's a great Albaz target. It's a great Branded Banishment target. Masquerade for Time. Harpy's Feather Duster. And then, so I believe we have, this is what we have. We have 15. And this is, again, this is just depends on your locals, but the main ones that I put on top are the ones that I use for branded here. And then lastly, Chaos Hunter. So that's the extra deck, you know. So we got a side for Maliss. We have a side for, because remember we have triple tactics thrust to pull the dimensional fusion dimension barrier out, and then we have something for Blue Eyes. And so, but yeah, that's my deck list. What I want to do is I'm going to be using this tomorrow, Monday, and hopefully I can get some recordings on how well the deck does. But it should do pretty well. It does well against Blue Eyes. But other than that, guys, you know, I mean, there's not much to say. You know, I want you to just try this build. If you guys don't have Fuwalos, just use Droll and Walkbird instead and just replace it with something else that has. Now, the elephant in the room real quick. The elephant in the room. Ito. And then we got, you also have Vice King, DDD Vice King Requiem. So I'll be honest with you guys. If you want to play this build, it's totally up to you. The reason why I just don't play this build is because, you know, Sanctifier, it's a good deck. This thing can lock your opponents out on this. You know, I personally feel like, as you know, the better you get, and I really want to prove a point that you don't need to win games with Ito. Now, if you want to use Ito, you certainly can. Just the fact that I take pride that the branded player did not use Ito. I mean, we don't know that he used Ito, but we definitely didn't see Sanctifier in there. So if he didn't have Sanctifier there, he obviously doesn't have Ito. So it's up to you. If you want to use Ito, then you keep the 2 Grand Gunyals. It would really help you kind of recur that. And you can just take out one of your dragons. What's so great about this format for Blue Eyes is that, you know, Sanctifier needs a light spellcaster. What's Blue Eyes' main second? What's the second archetype in there? Light spellcasters. So it would be great to use that. I'll follow up with tomorrow. I'll follow up later on how my run is tomorrow, and hopefully we do well. But other than that, guys, I really appreciate, you know, you guys watching this video. I'll, you know, demonstrate a lot. I'll probably do some choke points videos on how to stop Blue Eyes, especially with branded. But other than that, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you like this build, and if you want to subscribe for more branded content, hit the like button and subscribe.